What's up, guys? It is finally time to talk about ThunderCats again, in a sense that we're actually getting toys and we're getting sort of new stuff. We had, of course, the final and true announcement from Super7 that 1, they do have ThunderCats, and 2, they are producing figures and we're getting classics stuff. So, for maybe those who weren't around or just weren't aware, back in 2016 is when the Mattel ThunderCats Classics line came out, and we had a handful of figures, but the line died before the figures even came out. The line was basically dead upon arrival, which was a bit of a bummer. I bought in pretty heavily to that line, way too heavily, honestly, but we finally have new stuff coming from Super7. I will say that as we kind of go through what they revealed, I am slightly disappointed in what was shown. I had kind of an idea of what was coming, and I thought this might be it, but I was really expecting something a little bit different. I was really expecting to see entirely new figures, and that's not what we're getting. We are getting, to start with, we're getting 4 reissues of the Mattel ThunderCats Classics line. So just like what they did when they got a hold of the Motu Classics line, they released a handful of Ultimate style figures. Now, I didn't think this was going to happen because I'm not sure how they have those molds, or if they had to retool those molds, or whatever happened to it be able to produce these. Is Mattel actually still involved in some way? I have no idea. I'm not really sure. I kind of assumed they weren't, but I guess we'll find out. Otherwise, we're getting 4 figures that, well, frankly, a lot of people already have, but maybe some people don't have them. So we're getting Lion-O, we're getting Jackalman, we're getting the previously sub-exclusive Mumm-Ra, and we're getting Panthro. So we're getting 4 very big figures, and at the outset, it's fantastic for people that never got these figures and who don't want to pay some of the crazy aftermarket prices. Lion-O goes for over $100 loose in some cases right now. So prices are pretty crazy. But we are, of course, getting figures that a lot of people also already have. The kicker, though, is that these are going to be Ultimate style figures. So just like those Motu Classics figures where we got Ram Man and Teela and Faker and, I was going to say Lion-O, but it's He-Man and Skeletor. Well, they came with a ton of extra stuff. And that's exactly what's happening here. But it's also a little different because all of these figures are getting accessories that did not exist previously. So we're going to kind of run through what they're getting, what we're getting, show some pictures, what has been shown so far, and then kind of talk. So to start with, we have got Lion-O, and Lion-O comes with an extra head. So these all have extra heads, which is definitely new for the line. So we're getting a kind of roaring style head. You've got a Sword of Omens. You've got a claw shield, which is more cartoon accurate. You've got a claw shield with the sword sheathed in it. You've got the original kind of furry claw shield that we got with the Maddie stuff, and then the sheathed claw shield as well. We're getting interchangeable hands, and then we're getting a Book of Omens. So he's got a lot of stuff, and you're getting 4 claw shields, which seems a little excessive, but I really, really like the updated claw shield. I think that was one of the big complaints with Lion-O to begin with, is that he had a more realistic looking shield in some ways, but come on, we want the cartoon version. We are getting Mumm-Ra. So again, he was the previously sub-exclusive, so you had to buy into Club Third Earth through Mattel, and you pay for them all, and then you get Mumm-Ra. A stellar figure. So this one should be one that most folks really go after because he's ideally maybe not as out there as some of the other ones. So he comes with what is brand new, a posable fabric cape with a wire inside. So previously, he had 2 capes. He had one where he was just kind of in the cape, and then he had one where he was kind of transforming, so where it's kind of billowing back. So this is going to be a fabric cape, which is pretty fantastic. It looks really good. He has the plastic cape. He has his staff, which is, of course, vintage LJN inspired. We've got the Sword of Plundar. We've got another Book of Omens. And then we've got the Thundranium Urn. We've got the Rosencrantz Medallion, which is not pictured in any of these shots. It's only in one episode. It's kind of an obscure thing, I think, really. But I'm pretty excited to get it. And then we are getting another interchangeable head for him as well. Keeping with villains, we are getting Jackalman again, which was honestly a figure that I really liked. I thought he looked really, really good. I was pretty pleased with him to begin with, and he, of course, has got extra stuff this time around as well. So he's got his club, he's got the axe, which is really more of a slide type of thing, but he does have it at one point, so that's where it comes from. He has the mutant net gun, he has other mutant guns, alternate hands, and then, of course, he also has an alternate head. And then the last figure that we're getting is Panthro, easily one of the better figures in the original lineup. I thought he was pretty solid all around. So he's got his nunchucks with the real metal chain. He's got the spinning nunchuck kind of accessory to make it look like it's in motion. We've got the thundrometer, the key of Thundera, a wrench, and a welding gun, because you know he's the mechanic, he's the techno guy. He's got goggles, a detonator, a communicator, interchangeable hands, and another interchangeable head. So he is pretty well stocked. So these guys, they definitely have a lot of accessories. What's interesting, in kind of keeping with some of the things that have been changed but also maybe not changed, is that different from the Motu Classics Ultimates, is that these are not getting any kind of vintage card type of treatment. These are coming in window boxes. We don't have pictures of packaging yet that I'm aware of, but on the product description pages, they are listed as coming in window boxes. I would love if we could have gotten some vintage LJN inspired backer cards. I know some folks don't really care for that because you have to ruin those cards to be able to get them off in some fashion, but you know, for someone like me who already has the figures, I would have loved to be able to keep some in the package, because frankly, I have multiples of the originals in package already. Now, the negatives here. So I don't want to be too much of a downer, but I will say that this was a little bit of a disappointment, because I was really expecting, like I mentioned, to see a bunch of new figures, new sculpts, and just new stuff. We know that Jaga and Grun were already ready to go. So are they coming in wave 2? I can understand why they're trying to get some of these out, and it really depends on how they got access to these molds. I don't know. But I do think that there maybe is a bit of a bummer in some regards, because I really don't want to have to buy 4 figures that I already have. I do want to support this line. It's my favorite property of all time, so I want to support this line. And frankly, I do want all the extra stuff. I want to have all these extra heads, so I'm going to get them. But I was really expecting something else, and we just didn't get it. Now, that said, we are approaching PowerCon. I'm going to be at PowerCon this year, so I am definitely going to mosey on over to the Super 7 booth, and I'm hopefully going to see at least these on display, maybe see Jaga and Grun again, and talk to these folks and see what is going on in terms of future waves, what they are going to show. Are they going to show stuff at the convention? I really hope that this is an initial reveal, and then PowerCon's going to come and they're going to throw 4 other figures, because it's rumored that they already have 4 waves in kind of the ready state. They're ready to go and get 4 waves done. So we will see. I do think that these figures, at least in the promo shots they've given us, look stellar. I think the changes that we've got with some of the extra accessories look really fantastic. I think the extra heads look really good. I love my figures to begin with. I do think that maybe they should have gone the full route and just given us the first 5 figures, given us Mumm-Ra, and maybe kind of fixed her, because she was easily the worst one in the bunch. She could probably use a retool, but I do think that they're starting with the 4 most solid figures when it comes to reissuing these. I just wish, again, that we had gotten something a little new, but I'm remaining hopeful that I'm going to go to PowerCon and I'm going to see at least something. I know they've got something up their sleeve here. They can't just reveal 4 reissues and not expect us to ask where the new stuff is. Now, that said, there is another real negative here, and I'm really curious what is going on. The price on these things is far more expensive than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting 35 bucks, just like every other Motu type of figure that we've gotten from Super 7, including the Ultimates. These guys are $45 each, and that's a pretty steep price point. I'm still buying them, so you know I'm interested, but I do think that there's definitely something going on with the price. Is this the tariffs at play? Is this the first inkling of what's going to happen with stuff? Because I don't know where the price on these kind of jumped from. Is it that they're expecting a smaller number of orders, so the price per unit goes up? I don't know. But that's just sort of a thought. It's neither here nor there. That's the price. That's what it's going to be. Nothing that we say is going to fix that, unless, of course, no one buys them. So the price is what it is. It's not great. I suppose it could be worse, but I doubt it. Otherwise, though, we have 4 new figures. I'm frankly, despite the little, grievances that I have with the fact that we're not getting anything new, I am over the moon with the fact that we are getting these. And if this is what has to happen to get the figures to come out, just like with Super 7 and the Motu Ultimates, if this is what has to happen, then let's do it. I know there are a lot of folks out there that want these original figures that don't want to pay $100 for Lion-O, because that's crazy. He's not worth that. But Only time will tell what's going on. What are we going to see with the rest of these figures? You know, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. And again, I'm going to be at PowerCon, so hopefully we'll get to see something firsthand to see what's going on with these and get a glimpse into what Super7's plan is for this line and how they're going to take it from these Ultimate figures into the standard assortment of just new waves coming down the pipeline. So that's the big news for the day. I had to talk about it. I had to make a quick video on it. So let me know what you guys think about this reveal. What do you think of the 4 figures? What do you think about the fact that these are not new and just Ultimate reissues? And then of course I'm curious on what your thoughts are about the price. I will put links down below to the pre-order so you can pre-order directly at Super7. You do have to pay up front for those, but you can also pre-order them at Big Bad Toy Store for no markup and you don't pay until they ship. So I'll put a link down below to that as well. So otherwise guys, let's hope for something cool at PowerCon and I'll catch you next time.